Alright, so let's get into the news for today for May the 2nd. We're in May now, 2020. So we'll go from way, I think. Did I move? I think I moved those two. Anyway. So we'll start off today with the Global Game Jam. So the founders, Susan Gold and John Bly, are leaving after 12 years. So that's going to be a pretty big shakeup. As a person who's attended multiple Game Jam events, this will be an interesting change. Hopefully it doesn't undo a whole heap of things. Hopefully the new ownership is going to be quite positive as well. I would imagine it's so. The community's quite good. If you've ever been involved in the game jams, they're amazing. I highly suggest, if you're involved, if you're a creative, if you like making software, if you like working in a team, you can even do it solo. I highly suggest getting involved in the Global Game Jam. They're very fun. And you can see, like, if even if you don't, go check out some of the games that come out of Game Jam, see how creative they are, see some wonderful. It can be such a mixed bag, because you can get industry vets making stuff all the way down to fresh indies that have new takes on what you could possibly do. But yeah, so interesting it'll be interesting to see where they go with all of this. Next up is just a little announcement of a rhythm game, which was a unique take. It is similar to Crypta the Necrodancer. It's a rhythm game called BPM, bullets per minute, and basically you have to shoot on the rhythm. I won't put any footage up just yet, but if you're interested in rhythm games, if you're interested in sort of, I guess, Crypta the Necrodancer or Cadence of Hyrule, there's probably others I'm unaware of, but you should check this game out. It's interesting. I have no idea if it will feel good. It feels like it might be a strange match, but I guess we'll see. And the next one is something we talked about the other day. So the advertisement that was being teased through a poster reveal of Assassin's Creed is being revealed as Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So getting a bit of Norse, getting a bit of Vikings. I feel like if I was an Assassin's Creed fan, I'd be pretty excited for this. I'm a big Norse mythology fan, so yeah, be cool. Hopefully people like this. I feel like people have been quite keen on the past few Assassin's Creeds with the shift over to more open world stuff, but hopefully this will be another one that people will enjoy. I'll hold off to that one. Let's go jump into this one. Nintendo Direct is not going to happen very likely. Hey Beebler, getting through the news. So unfortunately, because of COVID and a lot of working from home that Nintendo are doing at the moment, seems like we are not going to get a Direct this June. So it'll either be pushed back, or it might be cancelled for a later one, which is a little sad. The momentum that Nintendo have had since with the Switch has been pretty fantastic. So I guess we will see what will happen in the next few months, I guess. I mean, everyone's going to be sort of clamoring for sort of digital appearances, and people will probably be mimicking Nintendo Direct's sort of style. Expect that. But yeah, just another one of those to be expected at the moment. Speaking of COVID, Square Enix is giving us some games to play. I don't know if they've added any more, but apparently they originally they gave out like free Tomb Raider games, and it sounds like they're going to launch a new Stay at Home and Play campaign. So there's a few other other companies also did this, but it looks like for this they're offering Hitman Go and the mobile Hitman Go, and I believe the Hitman Collection I think was the other one I saw. So if you're into any of the Tomb Raiders, if you're into Hitman, maybe go check them out. Free games are always good. Next one is Final Fantasy XIV's Developer Diary. So I normally won't talk about Developer Diaries, but the Nier crossover one is just fantastic, and Yoko Taro's, personality with Yoshi P just is fantastic. I really have been enjoying those two interacting through live letters and things like that. And the raid itself is quite good. If you haven't played 14's Nier raid, the first segment was pretty good, and I'm looking forward to the second. So if you are interested in any of those two things, go check them out. Yoko Taro is a pretty funny guy. More COVID stuff. We're not going to be able to get away from this, unfortunately, for a little bit, just until everyone says, yes, things are cancelled. So GDC has now moved over from the cancelling of GDC's summer event to a all-digital one. So this is the Games Developer Conference. So not necessarily reveals and stuff happen here, but a lot of tech industry stuff, people getting involved. A lot of little indie games like to get revealed here as well. So yeah, it'll be a all-digital event for summer, which they've been talking about this for about 2 months, so it's good to have them have the confirmation. Next up we have Wonderful 101. The remaster is going to be delayed for physical copies, which again, we're going to see a lot of physical copies be delayed. So if you're a digital person, you're probably fine, but if you like physical, you might find like your collector's editions and things like that might just might have to wait up on those. Hey Armin. Oh, I just noticed the chat is actually behind. Hang on. Just noticed the chat is behind here. Where'd it go? What I get for playing with too many things at once. Ready? There it is. Yeah. Alright, that should fix that. Whoops. I also need to fix the chat. It seems to have reset some stuff as well. So many things have broken with Streamlabs the past few days. That update has caused endless problems. Right, back to the news. So, if you saw recently, Indivisible had their game for the Switch released without any fanfare. Seemingly because 505 are blaming a automatic publishing tool. I don't know why they have an automatic publishing tool that can just forego a lot of things. I kind of feel like this might be a bit of BS myself. But the fact that Lab Zero didn't know what was happening, and the fact that there was no advertisements going out, it's just, this is pretty pathetic. 505, just, they're not a great company, but yeah, I would be surprised very few companies are going to try and sign contracts with them from here on, or from a few months back even, from a lot of other stuff that's happened. They are proving to themselves to be not very competent. So, yeah. At least you get to play Indivisible on Switch. So, good work to the team at the name of the team. Lab Zero. I'm gonna say Skullgirls. Okay, so this one was something I predicted a little while back, and I was just waiting for it to happen, and here it is. Someone is beating everyone to the punch, and it is the man that I thought it would be, which is Jeff Niley, the man who runs the Game Awards. That was his brainchild, quite notable in the industry for his journalism and everything. So he has decided that we will run Summer Game Fest, which will be a digital event, and it'll be running from May to August. So basically this is going to take over from a lot of various E3s and Gamescom. All the news that we would have seen will probably end up during this event now. So next gen will still be revealed. We still will probably have a lot of the standard reveal cycles. Don't know if we're going to have delays on terms of releases, but straight off the bat, they've already revealed that they're going to have 2K, Activision, Bandai Namco, Bethesda, Blizzard, Bungie, CD Red, Digital Extremes, EA, Microsoft, Private Division, Riot Games, Sony, Square Enix, Steam, and Warner Brothers. All very, very big, notable AAA companies. So, we are probably going to get a lot of very big reveals, which I kind of foresaw this coming. The train that is game reveals, you can't stop that. Games get developed, they're going to have to come out. Someone needs to talk about it somewhere. They need to do their marketing. So this should be an interesting event. I'm excited for it. I might, like I've talked about in the past, as we start getting reveals, and if they start happening at time frames where I'm streaming, I might just do a sit down and talk over like footage and stuff like that. That's what I do for like E3 and stuff usually. So, yeah. Next one's a fun one. I was excited for this, and I will listen to this later. But it seems like Yoko Kanno and a few of the other people involved with from Seatbelts are going to do or they have done a concert for the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. This is more an anime thing, but I love. I mean, some of my music on the end of stream. So if I ever finish up the stream, you might hear Cowboy Bebop music. So, of course, this means something to me. I generally try to go to concerts that are of live concerts for songs for things I care about. Like I've been to like Final Fantasy ones and Studio Ghibli and things like that. So I'll check this out. This will be fun. So we have a bit of more COVID news. Phil Spencer says that it might delay the launch titles. Not the actual console itself, but launch titles. Which I don't know if that necessarily means that they are going to have a delay in terms of like if the console launch titles get delayed, are they going to then subsequently delay the actual release of the console? Or is it the type of thing they have a few released launch titles, but not all of them will come out at once, which means that you'll get more limelight on the people who do finish, but the ones that don't might find themselves amongst the crowd. So, don't know what they're going to do, but it'll be interesting. Continuing on with the Series X, which is pretty big. So I don't know if this is actually going to be in line with the event that we were just talking before about the Summer of Games. but it seems like Microsoft is going to be revealing some next-gen games and gameplay from the Xbox Series X or this Xbox. So that includes Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it appears. Probably makes sense with a couple of the few teased things we've had of recent that they probably will end up during this event. So this might be something I might end up talking about. Again, I'm not the biggest Xbox fan. I have an Xbox, but more things end up on Sony for me. I'm just more of a Japanese player at heart, unfortunately. But I am always keen to see what the next generation looks like, and I will assure you the Xbox and the PlayStation will not be very far off each other in terms of visual fidelity. So. Next we have Them's Fightin' Herds. You guys might not know so much, I'm a pretty big fighting game fan. I probably would never play it on stream. I would just get too absorbed in the actual game. But this was a funny one. So this game originally got developed as a fighting game using My Little Pony models. Literally, everything was My Little Pony. The new modern one. It looked very good. It was wonderfully drawn, animated, and played very well from what I hear. I haven't actually played this myself, but at some point they got a cease and desist to not make it a My Little Pony game, and then they just took it upon themselves, because there was so much positive reception, to turn it into another fighting IP using horses. And sounds like it's pretty beloved, and they're finally leaving the early access, so hopefully they can get some marketing out there, get some publishing, get some money. Good luck to them. I think this company has done very well, and it looks very, very polished. And the last bit of news on from fighting games. So this isn't the full story, but there's a bit more on Twitter. EVO is the biggest fighting game convention event of the year. It always is. Been for that for a long time. It's hosted in Las Vegas, and as such, it looks like they're going to still cancel it, even though Las Vegas is trying to pull back a lot of constraints and stuff like that. The EVO team have decided to cancel the event. They've talked about on Twitter and stuff that they're looking at doing an online. Oh, here we go. They actually have it in this article. Online organizers are planning for an online replacement this summer. So, I think that's the right thing to do. I think most events just will have to suck it up. I know it's so hard for some of them. Like CEO have talked about, if they cancel, it might mean the end of CEO at all, because of just how much money they'll lose. But basically, a lot of them are waiting for venues to say, hey, if you cancel, we won't charge you any fees, or we won't do anything. So, or flights and blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of money tied to these events being cancelled, especially for the ones that are a bit smaller. Like EVO's big, but it's still relatively small compared to things like a E3 or Gamescom or something. The thing is, my first instinct with this, where they talk about online though, I don't know how that will work. EVO is a global invite event, so people come from all over the world to go to America to play against each other. If you don't know fighting games, there is a big debate that's been happening over the past 5 or more years about netcode and how it should be handled, and what ones are good, and rollback versus catch up, and it's just a bit of a mess. But the online infrastructure for a lot of fighting games is not good enough. If they do plan to do an event where they have online, people are going to have to be data checked. Like, if people drop packets, if anything like that, if they're going to put money on it, because it's an event where you earn money, it is a sizable amount of money too, because it is esports. Then they need to seriously consider how they're going to manage the event. And does that mean only Americans participate? Is it only Americans within particular states? Is it because is it an East Coast, West Coast hosted? Is it can Japanese participate? Can England participate? Like any of the European players? Australia? Like it really will lock down how many people will actually be involved in it. Probably a lot smaller tournament. It's going to be a lot harder to coordinate in the sense that if it's purely online, but it might get their ass into gear in terms of being able to make an event a bit more streamlined for how they've run it. Because there's a very there's a lot of things to do when you do an in-person event versus an online one, but they each have their own different challenges. So yeah, they're gonna have to be smart. There's a few other online tournaments. I mean, fighting games are hosted continuously online, so they might have to start looking to some of those others for expertise and stuff like that. But yeah. And I think that will be all the news for today. So,